You know, I was going into the Sony showcase with low expectations, but god damn it, they managed to blow away even me with just how shitty, underwhelming, and ultimately inconsequential this entire presentation was. And leading the pack, wouldn't you know, Knights of the Old Republic. If you have watched any of my recent videos, you know that this trend of remaking old movies and games needs to die. It needs to die a very swift and generous death. It needs to be killed immediately. This is not going to continue happening on my watch. This is trash. This is bullshit. I mean, let's think logically about this here, folks. The original Knights of the Old Republic wasn't that good to begin with. You've got your nostalgia goggles on. You're blinded by the fact that in 2003, it was a shitty year in gaming and your pickings were slim. And BioWare, one of the most talentless, overrated developers that have ever graced God's green earth. And by the way, that's just cold hard fact. If you're not willing to accept that, you're in severe denial. Pumped out, or rather shit out, a completely inconsequential RPG that did nothing to move the industry along with its archaic-ass D&D systems and its predictable-ass plot. Well, what do we have now? Oh, by the way, that game got a sequel that nobody cared about the year later, but is now somehow held in higher regard than the original. The gaming fan base never fails to entertain, amuse, and confuse the hell out of me with games that they had no problem shitting on back in the day, but now their minds have just been open, and it's so clear the fog is parted, and they see the light. Fucking clowns. Anybody who's claiming KOTOR 2 is better than the original, they're both equally shit. But now we're getting it remade. Yes, Darth Revan is back. I can't wait to not play this adventure. I can't wait to see this pile of failure flop commercially, because today's kids, the people who you're trying to appeal to, are all grown up. They have families. The only people who are going to be playing this overripe pile of garbage are going to be the kids of today. And the kids of today are not going to appreciate these old-ass 1980s D&D game systems, and they'll figure out the twist within minutes. Now, out of respect for anybody who has avoided Knights of the Old Republic for the last 17 years, and I commend you for doing so because playing it was absolute torture, I'm not going to spoil the twist. But let's just say you'll figure it out by the time the opening cinematic is over. This game is going to fail, and it is going to fail colossally, and I can't wait to sit back, not invest money in this trash game, but instead watch the meltdown as the millennials, these entitled, raise the minimum wage ass millennials, get a slap in the face, and they realize that the game they prided their childhood on and the game that they say defined RPG games doesn't hold up when it's remade. They're going to cry their fucking hearts out, and they're going to throw a temper tantrum as their generation is known to do. They're going to post videos online, hashtag not my KOTOR. Well, you can tell them that Dead Metal from Dead Metal Media came out the day of the showcase on September 9th and said this game was going to be a massive commercial failure. Probably, actually not even probably, easily the biggest flop of the next decade, as the fanboys will rage and seethe and recoil in anger as they're forced to confront their own emotions for the first time in their life because nobody else has held them accountable for the shit they spew, and they recoil behind the anonymity of the internet. They'll be forced to look in the mirror and realize that they just have shit-tasting games, that's not going to change because the game they loved as a kid is suddenly being remade, and that KOTOR, in fact, set the RPG genre back 20 years instead of moving it forward 20. There's a reason BioWare abandoned this style of game and didn't want to participate in that abortion of a sequel that was shit out a year later by LucasArts. No, that got farmed out to Obsidian, an equally talentless developer. I mean, my God, folks, when are you guys going to wake up and realize that great RPG developers? When are you guys going to wake up and realize that role-playing games have never been better than they are now, but it's specifically because of greats like Balan Wonderworld and the Fast and the Furious Crossroads? Not trash like KOTOR, not trash like Mass Effect, not trash like Dragon Age, and damn sure in 2021, not like trash like the Knights of the Old Republic remake. God, what a fucking disappointment.